In a world marked by judgment and divisions, there's a movement that dares to challenge the stigma surrounding ex-offenders. This is the story of the Yellow Ribbon Campaign, an annual international movement committed to breaking down barriers and fostering second chances. The Yellow Ribbon, once a symbol of waiting for the return of loved ones, now represents something equally powerful: the hope for a brighter future for those who've paid their dues to society. The Yellow Ribbon Campaign draws its inspiration from the age-old tradition of tying yellow ribbons to welcome home those who have been incarcerated. Over time, the simple gesture evolved into a global movement committed to ending the stigmatization of ex-offenders and fostering their reintegration into society.
Yellow Ribbon is an international movement. For example, in the Singapore prison service, the Yellow Ribbon program was actually taken to a different dimension where they have opportunity of having groups of partners, both the Singapore prison service and private sector agencies, civil society agencies, and they run a program with the call SCORE. So this means that these are people who are supposed to work with people, get them to reform, get their behavior to be modified. Now in Nigeria, Prawa facilitated the introduction of Yellow Ribbon in Nigeria, working in partnership with the Nigerian Correctional Service. And this is really something telling the whole world, keen to support reintegration.
Power, in partnership with Nigerian Correctional Service, is launching the program Yellow Ribbons. It's an international day for peace, and we are sensitizing Babalada community and FCT as a whole about inmates, prisoners. We are telling them that reformation, rehabilitation, reintegration is taking place in the correctional centers, and that once an inmate comes out, he's certified to be a member of society, and he's not supposed to be stigmatized. If he's stigmatized, he will go back to crime. He will go back to the unwanted elements who are competing with the society to have its law. So we are telling people that in terms of job, in politics, in socio-economic spheres, inmates should not be stigmatized. Inmates should be given second chance. Reintegration should not become another second prison. Once you don't accept the inmates, it means that even after leaving the correctional centers, they are still in prison. That is why we are sensitizing the whole society today that they should give inmates chance.
We are out to tell Nigerians that persons who are born through the correctional process have been reformed and are ready to go into society, free of crime, and they should be accepted. We are telling Nigerians that there's need for them to embrace them, show them love. There's need for employment opportunities for them. So employers open their doors to the possibilities of this rest getting employed. This will help to reduce the rate of reoffender and re-entry. So also help us to reduce the congestion raised in Nigeria. So today is Yellow Ribbon, and we are in conjunction with Prawa and the custodial and non-custodial. We are saying that everybody should put hands and encourage ex-offenders to live the entire life.
The heart of the Yellow Ribbon Campaign lies in the stories of those who've overcome the stigma that surrounds a criminal's record.
Yes, as an innocent person that regained freedom from the prison, like me, the first thing that will come to your mind when you leave the facility is revenge, because you will be angry at the society, angry at the government authorities like the police, the judiciary, and also to every person that might have offended you, said one or two things when you are in prison. Because when someone is in the prison, the conclusion is that, yeah, he's a criminal. That's why he's in prison. So a lot of people might have said a lot of things about you. But then, when you have God, when you have encountered God in the prison, if you come out like I did, is to start life afresh and put everything behind you and start a new life. One of the things that I faced, and every other prisoners who come out of prison faces, is stigmatization. And that's a very big problem because nobody can be established in isolation. So when the societies are stigmatizing you, even the friends, everybody, because they are seeing you as a liability. So everybody tends to stigmatize you. So because of that, so many people tend to run back to the prison or to commit an offense so that they can take them back to the prison where they can be accepted. So the issue of stigmatization is a serious issue in our society that nobody wants to associate with an ex-offender because they see them as criminals.
Wetin I come see for prison be say the place no be place wey person feel like to come because but I come get some small experience because already as I come here now I now come know say this life no be so e be. It's something wey you see say e no go reach you anything na im go fit carry you come in. So na wetin I dey just last one wey I really get to say I dey pray for my God may this one be last time and first one wey I go enter this.
These stories inspire us to believe in the power of second chances.
So this is a campaign to say there is a second chance, that somebody that has done wrong can be forgiven, given a second chance, and that the prison of staying in a community and not being accepted by that community, that can be also changed. And to tell the whole, Nigerians that the Nigerian Correctional Service, supported by the new law they have, the 2019 Nigerian Correctional Service Act, has the powers now by the Controller General of Corrections to provide what we call certificate of good behavior. That certificate of good behavior is to say that this inmate was with us. He is now out. He has proven himself to be of good behavior. He has tried to obtain one skill or the other, or one educational qualification or the other, which simply means that while in custody, this person was planning for life outside custody.
The Yellow Ribbon Campaign is not just about raising awareness, it's about mobilizing change. Advocates and volunteers work tirelessly year-round, offering resources, education, and support to ex-offenders and their families, ensuring that the journey to reintegration is a community effort.
So the very first thing Prawa did was to engage with the authorities of the Nigerian Correctional Service to let them understand the need for Nigeria to be part of the countries that are celebrating this Yellow Ribbon campaign. And I must commend the Nigerian Correctional Service for clearly seeing this as aligning with their objectives. And they did the very first flag up of the Yellow Ribbon campaign about 2-3 years ago at the headquarters of the Nigerian Correctional Service. So that was the first thing. The second thing, we began to build alliances with different civil society organizations across the states, and then we began to look at ways of promoting campaigns in different states. Nigeria, as you know, has 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Our vision is that we will get to a stage where the Yellow Ribbon campaign will be something that every local government, all the 774 local government areas of Nigeria, as well as all the 36 states plus the Federal Capital Territory, will be able to find ways of celebrating this, models and principles that aligns with Yellow Ribbon, which is say no to stigmatization, promote effective reintegration. So we need to have them celebrate it in the month of September. As you know, the month of September is the main month for the celebration of the Yellow Ribbon campaign. But the critical work which Prawa is also doing is to say that it is not only about September. It's supposed to be every process being taken to promote this whole notion of reformation, reintegration, and also of rehabilitation. Because you have reformation, then you get rehabilitation, and then you get reintegration.
In a world that often judges people by their past, the Yellow Ribbon campaign stands as a symbol of hope, unity, and the belief that everyone deserves a chance to rebuild their lives.
My advice to the society is to stop seeing those ex-offenders as criminals. It is not everybody that went to the prison is a criminal. That is the truth. And then, if the good fail to play their role, the bad will have their way. So as a society, we are praying for a better society. But it's not just a prayer. Our role matters. When we pray, our role in order how to rehabilitate and reintegrate those ex-offenders to the society will determine the peace that we will have in our society. So many people are avoiding to even, I don't want to visit those in prison, but the truth is that someday they will come back. So if you fail to play their role, then our society keep deteriorating.
And so even in further centers, ma'am, we are trying to project and teach these offenders that you can survive without government work by what you do yourself. Even though come up hunger, we the parents should also be able to encourage our children. The problem we have today is that most families do not correct their children on how to resell any benefit.
Yeah, to others who suffer stigmatization, my encouragement to them is to hold on to God, because their future is not actually with man. Their future is with God. Like when I came out, I held on to God, knowing that life is in phases. So that phase fizzled out, and this is where I am now. So I want to encourage everyone who is facing stigmatization to hold on to God and be hopeful that the future is better.
So, the next time you see a yellow ribbon, remember the stories it represents, the lives it has transformed, and the hope it continues to inspire. The Yellow Ribbon Campaign, an annual movement that bridges divides and paves the way for a brighter, more inclusive future.